Hare Krishna. So we'll start with Jai Radha Madhav. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya. Naval Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashoda Yamunatira Vanachariyam Yamunatira Vanachariyam Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Jaya Radha Kala Chanji Radha Kala Chanji Shri Radhe Jaya Jaya Radha Govinda Shri Radhe Jaya 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 Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, text number 28. So we are reading Canto 1, Chapter 8, text number 28. Manne tvam kalam ishanam. Oh, yes. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. So Canto 1, Chapter 8, text 28. Manne tvam kalam ishanam. Anadi nidhanam vibhum. Samam charantam sarvatra. Bhutanam yan mitha kalihi. Manye tvam kalam ishanam. Anadi nidhanam vibhum. Samam charantam sarvatra. Bhutanam yan mitha kalihi. Manne tvam kalam ishanam. Anadi nidhanam vibhum. Samam charantam sarvatra. Bhutanam yan mitha kalihi. Manne tvam kalam ishanam. Anadhi nidhanam vibhum. Samam charantam sarvatra. Bhutanam yan mitha kalihi. Manye tvam kalam ishanam. Anadi nidhanam vibhum. Samam charantam sarvatra. Bhutanam yan mitha kalihi. Manye tvam kalam ishanam. Anadim nidhanam vibhum. Samam charantam sarvatra. Bhutanam yan mitha kalihi. Manye, I consider, tvam, your lordship, kalam, the eternal time, ishanam, the supreme lord, anadi nidhanam, without beginning and end, vibhum, all pervading, samam, equally merciful, charantam, distributing, sarvatra, everywhere, bhutanam, of the living beings, yat militaha, yat mitaha, by intercourse, kalihi, dissension. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation is as follows. My Lord, I consider your Lordship to be eternal time, the supreme controller, without beginning and end, the all-pervasive one. In distributing your mercy, you are equal to everyone. The dissensions between living beings are due to social intercourse. Purport. Kunti Devi knew that Krishna was neither her nephew nor an ordinary family member of her paternal house. She knew perfectly well that Krishna is the primeval Lord who lives in everyone's heart as the super soul, Paramatma. Another name of the Paramatma feature of the Lord is Kala or eternal time. Eternal time is the witness of all our actions, good and bad, and thus resultant reactions are destined by Him. It is no use saying that we do not know why and for what we are suffering. We may forget the misdeed for which we may suffer at this present moment, but we must remember that Paramatma is our constant companion and therefore He knows everything, past, present, and future. And because the Paramatma feature of Lord Krishna destines all actions and reactions, He is the supreme controller also. Without His sanction, not a blade of grass can move. The living beings are given as much freedom as they deserve, and misuse of that freedom is the cause of suffering. The devotees of the Lord do not misuse their freedom, and therefore they are the good sons of the Lord. Otherwise, others who misuse freedom are put into miseries destined by the eternal Kala. The Kala offers the conditioned souls both happiness and miseries. It is all predestined by eternal time. As we have miseries uncalled for, so we may have happiness also without being asked, for they are all predestined by Kala. No one is therefore either an enemy or friend of the Lord. Everyone is suffering and enjoying the result of his own destiny. This destiny is made by the living beings in course of social intercourse. Everyone here wants to lord it over the material nature, and thus everyone creates his own destiny under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. He is all pervading, and therefore he can see everyone's activities. And because the Lord has no beginning or end, He is known also as the eternal time, Kala. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। Hare Krishna. So I pray at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled Vaishnavas that please pray that whatever we speak or hear today, may that be for our own purification and ultimately for the pleasure of Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Maharajas and their wonderful lordships, Shri Shri Radha Kalachandji. Hare Krishna. So, in this verse, We are going, in this chapter, we are going through the teachings of, or the prayers of Queen Kunti. And Kunti Devi is presenting her conception of God here. She is saying, Kunti is saying that Krishna is samam charantam sarvatra. He is equal to everyone. He is non-partial. We see even in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has said that samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshosti na priyah. That for me, I am equal to all the living entities. Now someone might say that if Krishna is equal to all the living entities, then why some people are born poor and why some people are born rich? Why some people are very beautiful? Some people are ugly looking. Why is it like that? If Krishna is equal in his mercy, why there is so much suffering in this world? And that's what Prabhupada is explaining in the purport. We have to understand that all of us, we belong to Krishna. Jivera Swarupa hoye Krishnera Nityadas. The constitutional position of a living entity is to serve Krishna. Just like the constitutional position of a sugar is to be sweet. That's its constitutional position. It's sweet. Or the constitutional position of a fish is to be in water. If you take fish out of the water, no matter what you give to the fish, no matter what you feed the fish is going to be unhappy. The only thing that fish wants is water, because that's its constitutional position. So therefore, we belong to Krishna, but because we wanted to lord it over the material world, we wanted to become the master, we wanted to give up our constitutional position, and we wanted to become the masters. So therefore, because we became envious of Krishna, Krishna created this material world, and all of us are here in this material world since time immemorial. Because we became envious. So some people may say that, how do we know that we are actually envious of God? Actually, the envy is the root cause for us to be in the material world. Because we are envious of Krishna, because we have envy for Krishna in our heart, that same envy is manifested towards other living entities. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarva loka maheshwaram suridam sarva bhutanam gyatva mam shantim richati. Which means Krishna is saying that I am the enjoyer of all the sacrifices. I am the proprietor of everything that exists. And I am the friend. I am the dear friend of all the living entities. Now, if we want to be the enjoyer, then if we want to enjoy, if we want to become the enjoyer, that means we are taking the position of Krishna. If we want to be the proprietor, if we have that desire, and we have that desire, that's why we are here in the material world. If we have that desire to be the proprietor, to lord it over the material world, and if we think that I am the master, I am the lord, I am the boss, then we have that desire to become Krishna, like Krishna. But Krishna is only one. Ishwaraha Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna is only one. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no one like him or no one above him. So therefore, because we have this desire to become God. And in the spiritual world, there is only one God, Krishna. And therefore Krishna created, okay, you want to become God, you want to become the master, try becoming a master. I create this material world for you. And therefore, all of us are here in this material world because of envy towards the Supreme Lord. And because we are in the material world since time immemorial, and because of our karma, whatever karma we have done, we are facing, whether we are poor or whether we are rich, whatever opulences that we have today, whatever circumstances, situations that we are going through in our life today, is only because of the karma that we have done in our past lives. So it is not that Krishna is not merciful on those who are poor, but they are poor because of their own karma that they have done in their previous lives. Just like a sunshine is everywhere. There is a sunshine, the rays of the sun are everywhere. But if there are some places which are covered, and so naturally, because those places are covered, the rays of the sun cannot reach that place. But that does not mean the rays of the sun doesn't exist. The sunshine, the sun rays are everywhere. Sun is giving the light equally to everyone. But some accept it and some don't accept it. Some have made that choice that to sit inside the room with windows closed, and we don't want the sun rays. But the sun rays they are still there to provide the light. Similarly, Krishna's mercy is everywhere. Krishna is merciful equally to everyone. But because the jivas, because they have made that choice to turn their face away from Krishna, turn their face away from God, therefore they are suffering. So therefore, now, for example, even in the material world we see, some people go to the universities while some people go to the prison house. Now why some people go to the prison house is because of their karma. It is because of their activities. Now, this prison house, in US it is called as Reformation Center, where the prisoners are given an opportunity to reform themselves, reform their choices that they have made. So similarly, this material world is a place where we can reform our choices that we have made. To reform our choices, that the choice that we have made to turn our face away from Krishna. This material world is that place where we get an opportunity to turn our face towards God and seek His mercy. And in this verse, Kunti Maharani is also talking about, if I stress something about the mercy aspect of the Supreme Lord, she is talking about Krishna's mercy. Today is Varaha Dwadashi, and we know that Supreme Lord, when He came as Lord Varahadev, He came in the form of a boar. Just think about it. In the human society, especially at least in India, boar is considered to be very abominable. No one likes to be near to a boar, because they are filthy or they are very dirty in their appearance, and the place where they generally reside, that's a very filthy or a very dirty place. No one likes to be around a boar. But Supreme Lord is so merciful, because Supreme Lord wanted to uplift Mother Earth from Garbhodaka ocean. Supreme Lord came in the form of a boar to uplift Mother Earth and place it at the right position. So Supreme Lord took that form, which actually no one likes, but just to serve Mother Earth and place her back at its appropriate position. The Supreme Lord took up that form. This is one aspect of His mercy. Another aspect is when the Supreme Lord show His mercy to even to His demons. When Krishna was 6 days old, Kamsa sent Putana to kill Krishna. Now Putana, who was a khechari means the one who can fly. So she came flying from Mathura to Gokul to kill Krishna. She applied poison and she wanted to kill Krishna. So she took up a form of a very beautiful gopi. And just like Mother Yashoda and all the other gopis, she went ahead to serve Krishna. And she took Krishna on her lap and she tried to feed Krishna with her milk. But actually that was poison. She applied poison, and while she was feeding her milk, she also feed the poison in Krishna's mouth. But because Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna knew exactly what was happening. So Krishna, along with the milk of this so-called gopi, Putana, Krishna drank away even her life here. And when Krishna killed Putana, Krishna gave her the destination in the spiritual world, and Krishna made her as the nurse in the spiritual world. Aho bakiyam stanakala kutam jigham sayapa yayadabhya sadhvi lebe gatim dhatri uchitam tatonyam kam va dayalum sharanam vrajema. In the third canto explains the merciful nature of the Supreme Lord. That aho bakiyam stanakala kutam, that bakiyam means a sister of Bakasur. So Bakasura was another demon that Kamsa had sent, and this Putana was the sister of that Bakasur. So when Putana killed Krishna, so we have to understand, Putana came with an intention to kill Krishna. But she also acted like a mother. Just because she was acting like a mother to Krishna, Krishna made her the nurse in the spiritual world. This is the mercy of Krishna. This is how merciful Krishna is. Even Shishupal we find in the Mahabharata, he used to criticize Krishna so much. But still Krishna forgave him till his 100 offenses. It was the vow of Krishna that till the time you don't cross your 100 offenses, I will forgive you. And every single time Shishupal criticized Krishna, that Supreme Personality of Godhead who is faultless, that Supreme Lord, who is the source of all incarnations, when Shishupal criticized Krishna, Krishna forgave every single time till his 100 offenses. And when he crossed that 100 mark, 100 offenses, And when he commit his 101st offense, that's when Krishna killed him. But even after Krishna killed him, Shishupal went to the spiritual world. This is the mercy of Krishna. This is the mercy. That whoever comes in contact of Krishna only gets uplifted, whether they are demons or the devotees. But the difference is devotees lovingly serve Krishna. They want to serve Krishna. Therefore, in the spiritual world, there are no demons. Demons only exist in the material world. Krishna wants to experience Virya Ras. Therefore, someone might ask that if Jay and Vijay are pure devotees and ultimately Krishna uplifted them, then why he played that Leela of sending them for 3 lifetimes to the material world as demons? But because Krishna wants to experience that Virya Ras, he wants to experience that joy of fighting. So this is the mercy of the Supreme Lord, that whoever comes in contact with him only gets uplifted. And therefore, we have to understand that we as the spirit souls, Mamaiva ansha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana mana shashtani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that we as the spirit souls, we are part and parcel of Krishna. So Krishna is complete spiritual living being, complete spiritual personality, and we are his part and parcels. So we are also spiritual in nature. And Krishna comes in our heart as Paramatma. As Kunti Maharani is saying here, that Krishna exists in everyone's heart as the super soul, as the all-pervasive one. He is there in everyone's heart as Paramatma. So therefore, just this one aspect, if we understand, there will be so much peace in the entire world. If we understand that Krishna is there in everyone's heart as Paramatma, if we see that, oh, Krishna is there no matter who they are, if they are even not just human beings, but even on other species, level of another species, let's say animals, if we see that, oh, Krishna is there in their heart, there will be so much less violence. Now, especially in India, there is always so much of fight going on between the Hindus and the Muslims. Yeah, exactly. And just if they understand that whether Hindu or a Muslim, that religion is only for the body, it's not of the soul. Our Sanatan Dharma, or this practice of Krishna consciousness, this practice of Krishna consciousness is on the level of the soul, not on the level of the body. But all the religions, whether Hindu or Muslim or even Christianity, that's the identity of this body, that this body is Hindu, this body is Muslim, this body is Christian, not the soul. Now, if we understand this simple science of the soul, if we understand that all of us belong to Krishna, no matter who we are, no matter what type of body I have, what religion I have, whether I'm a male or a female, whether young, old, or whether white or whether black, what type of body I have, it doesn't matter. All what matters is we are part and parcel of Krishna. If only this one aspect of Paramatma is spread throughout the world, so much of peace would be there. The United Nations is talking about universal brotherhood, but they are never successful in their attempts to bring universal brotherhood. We still see there is so much war going on, Ukraine-Russia war, or even the Israel-Palestine war. So much of violence is going on throughout the world. But we have to understand there will be universal brotherhood in the entire world only when we understand that there is a common father. When will I call someone as my brother? Only when he and I share a common father, only then he is my brother. So only when we understand that all of us are the children of God, all of us are part and parcels of Krishna, only then on the spiritual level it is possible to bring universal brotherhood. Till the time we keep distinguishing on the level of the body, there cannot be universal brotherhood. And that's what Kunti Maharani is saying, the all-pervasive one. She is glorifying Krishna. And that Krishna, because he is there in our heart as Paramatma, he is seeing all of our activities. Krishna is noticing all our actions. And therefore, when this knowledge is given to the common mass of people, nobody will commit any sinful activities. Just think about this. If everyone comes to know that they are not this body, they are spirit soul, and Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is residing in everyone's heart as Paramatma, and each and every action is being noticed. For killing an animal, if we kill an animal, we may escape the laws of the nation. Nobody will punish us for killing an ant, for killing a mosquito, or killing, for example, even performing most sinful activities like killing a cow or a bull. Nobody will punish us. The laws of the nation will not punish us, but the laws of the Supreme Lord will punish us. Therefore, if we simply understand that whatever, because Krishna as the Supreme Lord, as Paramatma in our heart, is noticing everything, every single action that we perform is being noticed by the Paramatma feature of the Supreme Lord. So simply if we understand that Krishna is noticing all of our activities, nobody will commit any sinful activities in the world. Nobody will commit. We don't even, then if, let's just think about this, that world where everyone is a devotee. Then there won't be any locks to any of the doors of our houses. Everything will be open. There is no need, because then nobody will steal anything. There won't be any password to our laptops, because nobody will do any type of scams that are happening. All the wrong activities are happening because of forgetfulness of Krishna. Actually, that's the root cause of our suffering. Forgetfulness of Krishna. We have forgotten Krishna and we have turned our face away from him. That's why we suffer. Just like if, let's say, we are walking on a street on a sunny afternoon and sun is on our back, so we see a shadow of ourselves on the street. But if we turn our face towards the sun, the shadow goes away. So like that, if we turn our face towards Krishna, there is no naysayance. And then there is only bliss and knowledge. And the only way by which we can become happy, because Prabhupada is talking in the purport about the happiness, the only way by which we can become happy is by serving the Lord. Right now our situation is like that of a fish out of the water. A fish is taken out of the water. That's why the fish is not happy. And that's how that's what exactly is our situation right now. Because we think that we are this body. We think that we are the enjoyers, proprietors, and controllers of our small family or of our small house. And because we have forgotten God, we have forgotten Krishna, that's the main reason why we suffer. Because Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He is the proprietor. He is the maintainer. He is the enjoyer. And when we understand that, That's when we become happy. That's when we truly experience bliss. Not by sense gratification. People put so much efforts on unnecessary sense gratification. So much efforts. But they don't understand that miseries, like none of us here, we pray for miseries. Do we pray at all, pray for miseries? We never pray for miseries. We never pray for reversals in our life. But still there are problems, there are reversals, and we are unhappy. So without praying, without asking for God, we are still getting reversals. Similarly, even without putting any efforts, we will also get happiness. We will also be happy. By the Kala, by the eternal time, just like we get suffering because of our karma, we will also get happiness. So we don't have to put additional efforts in materialistic sense to be happy. Prabhupada says that in this material world, absence of suffering is happiness. Actually, none of us are happy in this material world. But only because when there are no suffering, when there are no reversals, we think there is happy. We think there is happiness. So sometimes, if on the scale of, let's say, -5, 0 and 5, suffering is -5. And when there is no suffering, actually we are at 0 level. We are not at the level of something positive. But by practicing bhakti, by practicing Krishna consciousness, we become 5. We become on the positive side. We actually become blissful. Not just happy, but we become blissful in Krishna consciousness. Yes. Yes, so I'm about to stop now. So we have 5 minutes left. So it's exactly 8:20 right now. So 5 minutes we can take some questions and answers. Yes, Mataji. Yeah. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ajinkya Prabhu, thank you so much. I feel like your class is like a clean shower, like a just really scrubbing, and it's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
The question is that you made a comment in the class early on that the material world, and here we are in ISKCON. So can you maybe elaborate a little bit more on that? Because there is a difference between Srila Prabhupada's hospital and the material world. Would you care to elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, so I will just repeat the question. You are saying, like, correct me if I am wrong in understanding your question. You are saying like how basically our temples are different than the outside material world.
According to your comments, so I'm trying to get you to elaborate on your comments.
Oh, okay. So how basically Krishna consciousness is helping us to get out of like the miseries or of the material world. That's what is your question? Okay, sure. Thank you, Mataji. So Krishna consciousness is actually when the materialistic world outside is based on sense gratification. Because, as I initially said, because we are part and parcels of Krishna, our eternal constitutional position, our scriptures say that Jivhere Swarupa hoy Krishnera Nitya Das, that we as constitutionally, we are servants of God, we are servants of Krishna. And that Supreme Lord, when he came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that Supreme Lord gave the Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
I'm asking you about Srila Prabhupada's hospital. How is this ISKCON movement helping people? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah. So we as Srila Prabhupada's hospital or a movement, the service that our society is doing for the world is mostly to connect people to God. The three things. First is to understand who am I. Second is to understand who God is. And third is to understand what is my relationship with God. That is the process of Krishna consciousness. And that is the purpose of ISKCON, to educate people who am I, that is what is my spiritual identity, that I am not this body, to educate people that I am not this body, I am spiritual soul. Who God is, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Ishvara Parama Krishna. And what is my relationship with God is I am the servant of God, and the constitutional position is to serve Him. This is to educate on these three questions: who am I, who is God, and what is my relationship with God. To educate people in general on these three questions is the purpose of this Krishna consciousness movement. Does that answer your question? Okay, thank you, Mataji, thank you. Do we have any other points or comments? Yes, Prabhu. Actually, I didn't get your question. Can you?
His question is, if a person is in a mental hospital, and Samuel has asked this question many times, but each answer is quite interesting. But the question is, if a person is in a mental hospital and he blames Krishna for him being in a mental hospital, will the Yamadutas be there at the time of his passing, or will Krishna be there?
So, as far as the death is concerned, Krishna clearly says in the Bhagavad Gita that Antakale cha mam eva smarana muktva kalevaram yah prayati samad bhavam yati nasti atra samshayah. Which means Krishna is saying that if you remember me at the time of death, then I will take you back home, back to Godhead. You will come to me, Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita. So whatever we think at the time of death, that destination we will get. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajate ante kalevaram tam tame vaiti kaunteya sadatat bhava bhavitah. Krishna says in 8.5, and this is 8.6, the 8th chapter, the 5th verse and the 6th verse of the Bhagavad Gita. So we cannot 100% say, so if he is not practicing Krishna consciousness, then according to the karma, he will get the next destination. We cannot definitely say whether what will be his destination exactly, because we cannot know that. Only Krishna knows that. So we cannot say exactly what his destination will be. Depending upon his karma, there are many factors. His karma, his consciousness at the time of his departure, he will get his next birth. Thank you. Go later. Okay, sure. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jai.